Welcome, everyone, to the All Effin' Wrestling Show. We got a big show for you today. What do we have on the docket for today, JFB?
We got fireworks. What's happening right behind me?
I saw.
If you have animals, put them away. But we have the news, and we have an update on. We have an update on a guy that we've been following his career for quite some time, and then we're going to talk about the greatest baby faces of all time.
I'm excited.
I'm excited too. We do heels pretty much. We've done it like twice, but we've not done baby faces ever. So I'm excited. So all this and more on the
All Effin' Wrestling Show.
Hit that music.
Coming to you live from the FN Worldwide Media Studios, located in parts unknown.
It's the All Effin' Wrestling Show.
With your host, Canada Dry. In the JFB.
Tell me how it's priced. Tell me if the item is for sale. And tell me.
Welcome to the All Effin' Wrestling Show. This week's edition with the fury of 1,000 suns. I am the almighty JFB.
And I am, of course, the patron saint of professional wrestling. I am that gingered up, bubbly son of a bitch. I'm Canada Dry, damn it. Pop, pop.
Pop, pop. Somebody's been watching Community.
Well, I'm Canada Dry, and I'm a pop, so.
Yeah. We are joined by two very distinguished gentlemen. The man over below Canada Dry. He goes by multiple names. I mean, I've seen the driver's licenses. He's got probably 8 or 10 aliases that we know of. He goes by Kush Money, Cushenberry, and Mr. Kush. I'm talking about Kush. How you doing, brother? What's going on?
Looking, feeling good, and doing real well stuff, man. Thanks for y'all for having me again on the show.
Hell yeah. Can't have baby faces without one of the original baby faces of AFW. I mean, you gotta have him. You gotta have him. This guy's a predicting machine. The guy below me, he's our closer. And we should pay mention that the Baseball Hall of Fame induction ceremony is today. Shout out to Joe Bauer. Even though he never played for the Boston Red Sox, this man was as gritty and hardcore of a baseball player as you could get. But this guy is going to be in the Hall of Fame sooner than later because he is the closer, otherwise known as Showtime. Shane, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Great. And the fact that Coach put me in back-to-back days for throwing. So, hey, what the hell?
Called in. You got to call him in.
Yeah.
One half of the Van City Saints.
That's right. We're officially now entered as the tag team shot for the league coming up for Blood and Guts.
Which I'm going to be at. I can't wait. So, before we get started with the whole rigmarole of the best baby faces in the world, my God, you got to start with the beginning. It's like Genesis. We call it the news. from the four corners of the globe, from our studios to your home. This is FNN, the FN News Network, starring Canada Dry and the JFB. Now, before we get, do we have our?
He's not here yet.
Jeez.
We'll have to, when he gets here, we'll slide it in.
Well, we have some people that are in the house. Matt B is in the house. Always
Hey.
love Matt. Matt's a great guy.
You
We
were
love
sick.
him. He says there's something strange in the neighborhood. Are you going to call? We responded. Ghostbusters.
Well, I thought there was a nickname for Kush there, Kushbusters. I was waiting for that.
Oh, that'd be a good one. I like that. Kush.
Yeah,
Where
army
Was
on my
that be a
personality.
THC store of some sort?
the alias number 9. So at Pro Wrestling, West Coast Pro Wrestling, which is a small wrestling out in the West Coast, Alex Shelley wrestled. He is one half of the Motor City Machine Guns. Said to the crowd after his match, "It's a good chance you will never see me again," which begs the question, really, we know the answer to. If you had WWE on your bingo card, bingo, you have won. That's right. The Motor City Machine Guns are expected to sign with the WWE, and they will be, hopefully not NXT. I'm hoping that they will be in the majors. And I'm getting word in. Yep, it is. We got future Professional Wrestling Hall of Famer PCB.
Hey,
guys.
What's up,
All
Gabe?
right. We'll put up the graphic for this.
Yeah.
Where the hell is it? It's Caleb's Wrestler of the Week.
Yeah. Woo. We love it.
Now, Caleb, how you doing this week?
My wrestler of the week is Leo.
How you doing? Before you tell me your wrestler, how you doing?
Getting ahead of yourself.
Can you not hear us?
I don't think you can.
We fly.
He's in a van. Are you okay, Caleb? Are you okay? Is everything okay? I'm worried for his safety. He's in a van.
Blink twice if you're okay. Blink once if you've been abducted.
All right, who's your wrestler of the week?
Who's your wrestler of the week, Caleb?
Leo Ripley.
Oh, mommy on top. Woo! I like
Definitely
it.
on top of his list.
Now, why did you pick Rhea Ripley as your wrestler of the week?
Because she's a badass.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. That goes without saying, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. She is. That is thumbs up all the way.
Man, you a yard boy?
All right, Caleb. We'll see you next week for find out who you're picking.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. We got to get him to say thanks, guys, every week. Thanks, guys.
Let's go to our next one. Kota Ibushi is back. That's right. He actually wrestled a full match. This is after he hurt both ankles at Wrestle Dream. So welcome back, Kota Ibushi, to the world of professional wrestling. We have missed you so much. Can't wait to see you on American soil, doing what you do best, and that's kicking ass and taking names. Britt Baker is official. We have 2 returns. Britt Baker is returning Wednesday in Nashville, Tennessee at Blood and Guts. She will be facing Hikaru Shida.
Hikaru.
And FTR is coming back next week at wherever they filmed the esports arena in Arlington, Texas. They'll be there at Collision, making their triumphant return. Dax Harwood, of course, had a hematoma, had to get that taken care of, but homeboy is feeling good. He's up to it.
Seems a little quick for his return.
It does, yeah. I mean, it's just a little bit too early, I think. But hey, No one knows better than Dax Harwood how good Dax Harwood feels. So you know,
I feel he's pushing it here. I don't know.
he doesn't want to lose his spot. That's the problem. He doesn't want to lose his spot.
Exactly it right there.
Speaking of injuries, Dalton Castle not going to appear at Ring of Honor for much longer. He is out for the rest of the year for 2024. He got knocked the hell out. That Roderick Strong knee. Whoo! Canada Dry, your thoughts on Dalton
So
Castle?
he has a concussion, I'm assuming.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I knew it was hard hitting though, but I didn't know he was getting rubbed out that bad.
Yeah, he said he got knocked out. He said he was KO'd by that knee from Roddy.
So, is this Roddy's fault or is this just an accident?
I think it's just bad
It's an
timing.
accident.
Yeah.
Roderick ain't known for hurting people like that.
Probably one of the safest wrestlers in wrestling. So it just
So
happened.
it could have been just like how Dalton was, how Roddy was coming in.
Yeah.
It's just bad timing.
Yeah.
Probably some miscue right there, man, when he was doing that.
Yeah. What are your thoughts,
That's
Showtime?
I feel bad. I was the one who originally saw the news from TK and posted it in the community. No, it sucks, man. 'Cause I've been a fan of his for a while, like long time in his ROH days, right before he got the world title for ROH. But no, it's just gonna be a tough one. I guess it must be a pretty bad dinger to the head if they're already announcing like he's gone from 2024. Like that doesn't sound good at all.
So in honor of our fallen comrade,
Stupid, naive, silly little goose.
I love that Dalton Castle. Let's move on to another injury, Sky Blue. If you watched Collision last night, Sky Blue got hurt, legitimate injury. They had to stop the match. It was very awkward how they went about it, but we wish the best for Sky Blue. Here's hoping that she makes a full recovery.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
They need to stop with all this jumping out of the ring shit.
I agree.
Like, it doesn't, like, you don't need to do it all the time. Like, and like, that's where you get injuries.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Like,
I originally thought she knocked herself out because she hit the barrier with the back of her head, but it's.
But interesting enough, it looked like she was wearing Chuck Taylors.
She was, yeah.
He usually does.
I wonder if that's like, are you supposed to be wrestling in Chuck Taylors?
No.
Like, is that adding to the injury there?
AJ Lee used to wear those for years when she was wrestling too. Some of a few other girls have been rocking those Chuck Taylor. But I mean, it's so different. A lot of guys using those Nike Airs these days and stuff like that.
Well, I
Like,
think Nike Airs are be more supportive to your feet than Chuck Taylor. These are not.
No, that's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, Kofi Kingston, the Usos and stuff, man. They all wore, man, Nike stuff, man.
Yeah.
John Cena used to wear those pumps and stuff back in the day when it's thugonomic days.
Yeah, but those are supportive to your feet rather than.
Yeah, that's true.
That's
Chuck
true.
Taylor. But I mean, people used to play basketball in Chuck Taylors back in the day.
Yeah.
Have you ever walked around in Chuck Taylors for like a day? You're like, my feet are like.
Yeah, I can't
They're
find
not
myself man wear those things at all casually. Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
They look good, but not for me.
So New Japan, of course, this is my favorite time of the year. It's the G1 Climax for New Japan Pro Wrestling, and two non-New Japan wrestlers, Jake Lee from Noah and Konesko Takeshita. And Takeshita got his first win last night. He took out Yoda Tsuji.
That's an upset.
Shane L.Y. is a jabroni, man. I wouldn't let him. Yeah, exactly. That's what we think of you, El Showtime. That's such an arrogant bastard, that guy.
He is. You're right.
So Nia Jax on a podcast exclaimed that the toxicity that existed in the locker room prior to Vince McMahon leaving is gone. She said there's more support.
It's magic.
Magic. Ooh, magic. Like that. That's so good for Nia Jax. The expectation is that Hikuleo, the half-brother of the Tongans in the bloodline, will be appearing very soon. So my question is this. Does he side with the new bloodline? Does he side with maybe possibly Roman Reigns' version of the bloodline? Canada Dry. Lay it on me, brother.
It seems like you need to have some numbers matched up for when Roman comes back. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it seems like WWE is they're going all out on these Islanders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're going all way in, man. I feel like for him, if he's really any good, if he's anything like Jacob Fatu and that stuff, yeah, it's him in the main roster. But they can do him like they did solo, just have him have a little stint in NXT. It wouldn't hurt to sharpen him up, man, and give him to the style, man, they want in their business.
I mean,
We also want the Gates of Agony over here. We'll sign it from AEW. We're getting
I mean, the guy's 6'7". I mean, there's got to be a place for him. You know what I mean? I mean, you can't turn down a guy with an afro and 6'7" and doesn't play basketball. That's all.
I can imagine him. You know what, though?
Yeah.
If he does go to NXT and stuff, though, I would like to see him go against Obafemi. You talk about the size. That would be a colossal powerhouse match. Yes. Please have him do that first.
I think he's going to the main roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would be put right into that storyline right away, probably.
I mean, I got goosebumps thinking about Obafemi versus Hikuleo.
I also think about Moose and Obafemi, that possibility.
Oh,
Who's really getting the short stick on this whole thing? Is Jimmy Uso.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's getting the short stick. Like, he's been passed over by his younger brother.
Yeah. Yeah, things aren't
He's
looking
got Naomi, though. I'm not mad about that.
That's
Yeah, he's
true.
still got Naomi.
When he feels sad, he could just rest his head on
He's
that.
got the glow.
But that makes me wonder, like, what are they gonna actually do with him? Like, he's probably not injured, is he? Is he just kept off camera sort of deal, right?
I think this is to build up when Roman comes back and they all come back with them.
He might come back with him, though, too. I can see that.
So, our favorite Republican National Convention speaker, otherwise known as Hulk Hogan, says that Goldberg should never have been beaten. He was the second coming of Hulk Hogan. Canada Dry, we know how much you love Hulk Hogan and Goldberg. Why don't you add in on this?
What are you saying, Hulk Hogan? You are the one who said to Eric Bischoff,
Yeah.
the time is right for him to beat Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Like, you're the one who set this all off. Like, I don't know. I think that he's out to lunch on a lot of things.
Kush?
Well, you know something, brother. When you talk to me, Tam, shots man to the head, man, with vitamins and stuff, it rocks your brain and makes you feel like you're better than you are. Because that's what he's all about. He's talking out of his ass and he's walking it dry, brother. Oh, brother.
Brother. That reminded me of the Shawn Michaels Hulk Hogan stick.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What
Now,
do you think,
Chris,
Dave?
are you more likely to vote for Trump now that Hulk Hogan is supporting him? He's like, no comment.
I don't know who I'm voting for. I don't want to know.
What about you, Shane?
Nothing surprises me with Hogan anymore. But and it was his committee that booked the whole stupid. It's like his buddies are the ones that booked how Goldberg lost his streak to begin with. But I mean, be honest, he would have never been as big of a superstar as Hogan, like in longevity. He got too old too fast. There would not have been a good enough rivalry to put him over the top, like a Hogan versus Andre match. Goldberg would have never had a match for him to have that type of hype.
Well, plus he never learned to wrestle, so there was never
Exactly.
rivalry that he could build.
He was in the
No.
Sarge's accelerated training program at the Powerhouse. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I was there when he was training because we were shooting a documentary, and that guy was there for 2 days. And then next thing I know, he's on freaking night.
Wait, you were shooting a documentary at the power plant?
Yeah.
What was the
Oh,
documentary
wow.
on?
It never got finished. I mean, as far as I know of, it's not out there. But we were.
What was it going to be?
So we were going to follow two guys that one guy was in his 30s and one guy in his early 20s trying to become professional wrestlers. And we got them into the power plant and we were going to follow them in their journey. And
that would have been hella cool.
yeah, the 30-year-old guy didn't make it. He after doing Hindu squats, he threw up and left.
That makes for a shitty documentary.
Yeah, but I got for like 2 weeks, I got to take bumps. I got to run the ropes. It was freaking amazing. I got to jump off the second rope onto a pad with the Macho Man elbow. I was like, yeah. Only one on the crew that did it because no one else knew anything about professional wrestling. I was the only one that was like, yee.
That's awesome.
That is funny.
So for those who are wondering why
look at this.
What's that?
Matt B says, my mom told me not to wear my Trump hat in public.
I mean, it's kind of a good idea.
Is this a safety thing?
I mean,
even years ago, people were getting sucker punched for wearing the hat and stuff like that. So,
I mean, all I can say is this: if you live in a blue state, probably not smart to wear a Trump hat. If you live in a red state like I do, you can wear head to toe Trump stuff and you'll be fine. That's all I'm saying.
It's like wearing a Boston Bruins jersey in Game 7 of the 2011 Stanley Cup Final.
I wore Milan Lucci's Bruins shirt downtown earlier today, and yeah, I was getting some unpleasant names yelled at me before me and my buddy left. Like really hard names.
I have never in my life ran as fast from an arena to save my own life than when I was at Game 7 in 2011. I ran we stayed in the stadium to watch the presentation, and then we walked out, and there were cars tipped over, and people were riding, and I went, let's find a cab, let's get to the hotel, let's lock the door, and never speak of this again.
Wow, you were there.
I was there. Yeah. There's no way I was going to miss seeing the Boston Bruins possibly hoist up another banner and celebrate. Hell no. JP hopped on that plane, flew all the way to Vancouver.
I was probably one of the guys chasing you to the airport.
You look familiar.
Meanwhile, I was the one watching it on News Live laughing.
Actually, after the second period, this girl I was dating, we went off and we had some fun doing some other stuff.
Oh. Do tell.
This is a family show.
So for those who are wondering why Braun Breaker didn't get the Intercontinental Championship at Money in the Bank, it's because according to a lot of rumors, they wanted to say Braun Breaker getting the championship for a bigger show, which obviously means, duh, SummerSlam. That's right. SummerSlam is coming up. The expectation is that Braun Breaker is going to be booked to go over, which frees up Sammy to possibly join the new bloodline. The
original bloodline.
The original, the OG bloodline. Yes. NWO White versus NWO Red. Which one do you got? So let's talk about Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal has been released from his contract. He is now starting the Jinder Mahal tour where he goes to different places and starts wrestling. The interesting fact was someone asked him about the racist promo he cut against Shinsuke Nakamura, and his retort was, Vince told me to do it, and so I did it. Which
not only that, if you do not do it, you can go home.
Yeah.
So that's pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old
down
Vince.
the pressure when you're on top of that stuff and your boss is doing that, having you do that. Well, that's what you have, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, especially if was this when he's world champion?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you want to stay on top. Like, Vince, he could change his mind in a dime and someone else champion tomorrow. So what are you going to do?
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Tough spot.
So,
that's what I'm going to be. I know that had nothing to do with him.
No.
I ain't surprised at all.
Got two more. Ric Flair. Ric Flair goes on what I can only assume is a marijuana and alcoholic shoot about why he was not included in the ESPN top 100 athletes of all time. Listen, Rick, not one professional wrestler made that list at all. The fact that you were like, I'm better than Tom Brady and Serena Williams says a hell of a lot about the delusion of this world that you live in, that you think you're better than Serena Williams or Tom freaking Brady. That's all I'm saying.
Like
I mean, there's confidence versus Ric Flair confidence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Ric Flair is the most overrated wrestler of all time.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But John Cena is 100 times more the athlete than Ric Flair ever wish he was. To be brutally, if we're ever gonna even go on the list with wrestlers on the like most athletic,
I wouldn't put John Cena on there.
no, but I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna put, like, he's like almost as most over as Flair. He's 100 times more the athlete Flair than would wish he was, right? Like, I don't even know why Flair thought he could be on such a list.
Yeah, and it's like a predetermined sport.
Yeah.
You're not really achieving anything if you get a tap on the shoulder. You're winning the belt tonight, buddy.
If you were going to put one, though, Kurt Angle would probably be one person as an exception because of what he did in '96 in the Olympics. That's a completely different story then, right?
Him and Brock Lesnar are probably the only two legitimately, man, on that list.
Yeah, it's pretty good assumption.
So let's
Mark
go to
Henry?
Huh?
Mark Henry?
Mark Henry?
Yeah, I mean, weightlifting, yeah.
I mean, Gable.
And
You know,
Chad Gable, yep.
Chad Gable. I mean, there's a lot of Olympians who have I mean, Ronda Rousey, she was an Olympic.
Iron Sheik.
Yeah, Iron Sheik, he was in the Olympics too as well. So
Well, we might have a show on our hands here. Olympic wrestlers.
Yeah. So let's talk about one more thing for those who, if you're blind, then you probably did not see this, but all over the interwebs, there was videos and pictures of AEW content on the Max app. Now, before you start getting all, oh, I'm going to Max right now, screw your podcast. Slow your roll. It's only in France right now. That's right. So it's only in France. If you look at the picture, it says saison, which is season in French. They are testing it in European markets. Does not mean that it's coming to the U.S. anytime.
It could. It
very well could. The thing to remember is this: when you're dealing with streaming platforms in different countries get different stuff way ahead of when we get them in the U.S. So,
I would say this is a good test of what.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Maybe come in this year, probably around Christmas time, we might have it. Yeah, I mean, that's Christmas present right there.
The thing to remember with the U.S. is this: Warner Brothers Discovery is in the red right now, or so they say. The likelihood is that Warner Brothers wants to have more television and less streaming presence for AEW because that allows them to write off AEW as a loss and it puts them into the black. It's what I like.
But you get those AEW pay-per-views and other things like Ring of Honor and all those things. Like,
correct.
It would make the streaming so much cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you don't have to have the shows on there.
Hollywood accounting is very different than regular accounting. So, for example, to this day, Warner Brothers has said that the Harry Potter franchise has lost money. And the reason why they say that is because they take other projects and attach it to the bottom line of those balance sheets so that it loses money so they can write it off and get.
So what killed WCW pretty much?
There you go. Perfecto. Guys, that's our news. That's all there is. All right. Well, anyways, on behalf of Canada Dry, I'm just kidding. We're not at the end yet. We're
at the middle.
We're in the middle. We're in the middle, which means it
middle of the hurricane.
Yeah. It can only mean one thing, and that is this. Our main event, which has been approved by Baby Billy. Woo! We love Baby Billy. Let's get
Baby Billy, Bible thumpers, Bible bumpers, baby.
Yeah, we're going to have that show. I feel like we're going to have that
Bible
show.
bumpers.
Gotta love it. Anyways, let's get to our main event. gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. We love doing draft shows, but this draft show is a little different. Normally, we have a very stringent rule. You are not allowed to copy anyone else other than yourself. Well, we have taken that rule and we threw it out the window. And then we lit it on fire. Then we stomped on it.
Yeah, like
Then we stomped on the money in the bank.
yeah, like you got to give all the babyface enough. So if let's say all of us put Dominic Mysterio on there as the greatest babyface of all time, who's stopping us?
Yeah, nobody. And that brings us to our top baby faces of all times. Oh, baby. Anyways, we're going to go in around the horn. And we're going to start with Canada Dry. Canada Dry, who is your first baby face of all time?
My first babyface, I'm gonna go with the guy with the $1 million smile, Bret.
Oh,
To me, his babyface run in WWE, even when he was heel in America, he was still a babyface in Canada and the rest of the world.
yeah.
So I loved Bret Hart's babyface run. No one better than Bret.
I mean, you can't beat Bret Hart. I mean, you're right. Even when he was the most despised human being in WWE in America, everywhere else except for the United States of America was legitimately, he was a top babyface. He was a hero to everybody. You know, and you could watch the documentary Wrestling with Shadows, and there's people there that say Bret Hart changed their lives.
Thank you, Bret! Crying.
Coach, what are your thoughts on Bret Hart?
Well, you know what, man? He's one of my favorite wrestlers, man, of all time. I mean, not just how way he works in the ring, being one of the best technicians, but just like he said, he has a good man, role model man to him. He holds in high regard to his craft and being a perfect man guy for little boys and stuff and girls to aspire to become wrestlers. Like he even had his own sunglasses thing he put on little boys something as he go out into the ring. He's pretty like one of the best man going on in Canada. Stuff man's being one of the famous people and stuff come out of there. I mean, he's really benefited a lot, man, just for his earnest attitude and being so, passionate and stuff and being a wrestler and being, man, that role model, that spokesman, not just for his country, but just for the sport in general, because to him, it was really like life. Like he take it seriously, and he also enjoys the perks and stuff of it and having his way, man, of getting to the top and helping others, man, get up there too, like his brother Owen, his brother-in-law featuring Davey Boy Smith, man, Rich Bulldog. He really has been doing a lot of good things, man, charity-wise and all that too.
Yeah.
I also say that Bret has always been a man of integrity. He wasn't around weaseling backstage to, get his spots, and he was doing things the right way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shano.
No, you can't go wrong with that pick. And another thing I'd like to add, his babyface run was a long time. Like after him, like he wasn't a heel since like when him and Jim were tag team with Melton itself or whatever. Like that was a long time. He was a babyface. And again, when we mentioned he made the sort of heel turn, it still wasn't even a full heel turn. It was just only a heel turn against the States, and that was it. So, like that's one of the longest babyface runs out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Besides everything else you guys said, because he's one of my all-time favorites too. So,
yeah, I'm gonna go with mine.
Well, what do you have to say about Bret, though?
I already said what I said about Bret. Bret's freaking amazing. There's
right, you did.
Yeah, nobody better than Bret. I'm gonna go modern day for my first pick. She is probably one of the most adorable women in wrestling. She is you just want a hug from her. Not Bailey. Get out of here. She's about.
Is it this woman?
It's Willow Nightingale. Woo!
Look at that smile.
Listen, there you
Gorgeous.
can see that smile alone will light up an entire universe. She's got a great attitude. She is now your CMLL Women's Heavyweight Championship. She is absolutely fantastic. Comparing her 2 years ago to this year, monumental how much she's grown as a wrestler. And the sky's the limit for her. You know, could she do a heel run? I don't see why not. But there's no reason to. I think she's like Rey Mysterio. I think she's like Sting, Ricky Dragon Steamboat. She's gonna stay face pretty much forever. I don't ever see it. She may get some grit, but I don't see her becoming a full-blown heel. Shano, your thoughts, my friend?
No, I don't want to come off sounding like a dick. I'm still not sold on her. I'm not a huge fan of her. I don't get the hype, and I don't want to try to be negative. Like, something about her matches and her just doesn't jive with me. But I mean, hey, we're not all supposed to like the same thing, or where we'd be one boring world, right? And there'd be no criticism. We just have boring products over time. So, but yeah,
We'd all be like Tiffany.
Yeah, no, I know.
I love everyone.
I just want both teams to have fun.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys. Let's go to Kush. Kush, your thoughts on Willow?
Well, Willow, like I said, I mean, kind of like Shane and stuff, man, I do like her. I do like how way she progressed and stuff, man, the past year. At first and stuff, though, I was, hearing all the hype about her. And immediately, to me, she feels like somebody that I probably would call as a good friend. She has that kind of, that aura about her, kind of same way like Bailey has and stuff. Those two are probably the exact same person when it comes to personalities and stuff. But at first, I wasn't so high on her when it comes to her in-ring ability until I seen her really grow as an AEW. And the more she was having these matches, the more I started, seeing the results and seeing the hype of hers. Yeah. She does deserve, man, what she's getting right now. Getting more of a higher profile stuff, man, in the ranks and being recognized as one of the best in AEW women's roster for sure. So more props to her, more respect to her and stuff. And I hope, man, that she'll probably one day become an AEW women's champion. I love it. Limit for her for sure.
Yeah. Canada Dry.
I think that she's a tremendous babyface.
Yeah.
First off, I also think that all credit to Stokely Hathaway and Chris Statlander.
Yep.
And Tony Khan for getting her over this way, because without Statlander and Hathaway, she's not moved to the next level. So all credit to those guys.
You don't become a better babyface, you gotta have a good heel. So they did their part on that.
Yeah. That's the thing. I think we should talk about this for a moment before we move on.
Let's do it.
Batman isn't anything without the Joker.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I love Joker as much as I love Batman. So yes.
And the other thing is I want to kind of quickly mention is that you have a lack of strong baby faces today.
Yeah.
People do not you have to be something special to get over as a baby face these days. You look at MJF, he was over as a baby face, but I feel like he didn't trust it. He was worried about his career.
Yeah.
Staying a baby face.
Yeah.
At the same time, MJF kind of feels like The Rock and Stone Cold. He didn't really change that much. He's just slightly more likable when it comes to his approach about things, because he's still your favorite scumbag. He's still he's saying a lot of crass things and stuff, man, that got him over as a heel to begin with. So and for him, as young as he is, that's high praise.
Yeah, well, there's not
to compare anything like those guys and stuff, man. In the past, you're doing something
there's
right.
not a lot of top baby faces right now in wrestling.
No. Most of your baby faces right now are in the back end of their career. With the exception of one guy that I can think of that will probably go down as one of the great baby faces of all time.
I think that what's really going to help professional wrestling is Roman coming back and being a babyface.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to Showtime Shane. Who is your pick?
Hey, you know what? Number one pick on my list, because I just remember these days growing up as a kid, how if you want to talk about crowd singing along to people's entrance songs, This had to be one of the originals. I remember it happening. And I was during to Pantera Walk back in the ECW days. And one of the first few people that had crowds doing a certain gesture too. And that was Rob Van Dam. Man, when he was like, he had the moment he walked out to the like this music hit, he had the crowd in his hands. He had the short heel run with Sabu when they were tag team champions and stuff. But then eventually he became one of their main baby faces of all time. With the television title run, I think it was over 462 days or something like that. He held on to that title, besides staying undefeated for a very long time. And yeah, nobody was
Unfortunately, I didn't load a picture for him.
Yeah, but nobody was more over in ECW than RVD. Besides maybe two others we could probably get to later.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there's anybody better than Rob Van Dam in terms of just the ability to generate excitement, because, ECW was so limited on who they could get across or who they can get over because there just wasn't a lot of people that were watching ECW. Yeah. The fact that he was able to translate that success all the way to WWE, AEW, all these other promotions he's wrestling for is it's amazing. It's just absolutely.
I forgot to add too the fact when he was supposed to be part of the heel group, he was supposed to be in the invasion angle. That moment, him and Tommy Dreamer were part of the crew that was supposed to destroy people.
Yeah,
they got over. The crowd knew who they are, and they got popped. Yeah, especially when RVD did the chair thing and stuff for that, and the whole alliance angle, everybody else got booed.
There we go.
Except for RVD.
Yeah. All right, Kush, what are your thoughts?
I gotta agree, man. Shane, man, everything you say, man, is hitting the right spot and stuff, man, about RVD, because I've grown to like him and stuff. And of course, I was only into WWE or WWF at the time, WCW at the time when they did the invasion story angle. I was aware of what he was doing before he got there to WWE, and I saw some things. I'm just like, man, this guy is absolutely unbelievable. Like all the wrestling you see today, especially like in indies and stuff, he was one of the originators.
Yep.
Without his influence and stuff at all, there probably wouldn't be as much good wrestling as you see right now. Yeah. With all the unique stuff he was doing, especially with the chair, high flying and stuff, knowing a little bit martial arts and stuff, the guy couldn't do no wrong. I mean, he was absolutely something as a breath of fresh air that was at the right place at the right time in ECW, pretty much the poster boy of it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of guys like Dudley Boyz, Tommy Dreamer, Sabu, but he was their guy. He was like their Hulk Hogan, their Stone Cold in that era.
Yeah.
And pretty much for me, he's a well-rounded guy. Like he's beloved no matter where he goes and stuff. He seems like a very chilled, awesome guy. Kind of like Bret Hart stuff. He has a low integrity to where he doesn't fuck with anybody unless they fuck with him first. Yeah. But at the same time, he'll do his words and stuff in the ring. And for that, he'll definitely be my all-time favorite baby faces.
If you want to see how over he was, watch One Night Stand. Not the second one, the first one.
You just stole my thunder.
Go ahead, Canada Dry.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, if Cena wins, we ride.
Yeah.
Like, that's how over he was. And this is at the peak of Cena's, like, uprising. Like, Cena is the top baby face in WWE.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
And he's so over. And Rob Van Dam, he's just so chill.
Yeah.
This is what he said on one of his Inside the Ropes interviews. He's like, I don't understand how all these guys have such big egos when you are getting a tap on the shoulder to win the belt. It's not like you are, doing anything special than this guy over here. You just are in the right place at the right time.
Yep.
And he's like, be humble. Don't be such a egotistical prick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I like that. I was like, I'd have a beer with him.
Yeah. I mean, One Night Stand, he didn't even wrestle. The man had a busted open knee. He came on crutches, hobbling to the ring, and fans went nuts.
Oh, you were bringing up a different one than me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I mean, it's amazing what he was able to do with just not even wrestling. He got a pop.
Yeah.
Let's go to Kush. Kush, who's your first one?
You know, I mean, I gotta say, like, this guy was definitely one of the reasons why I started even watching wrestling in the first place. And it's not who you think. It's definitely somebody, man, who I was just kind of just curious with, like with his character and all that at the time. And that was like during his WCW days, and he'd be known for just peering in the rafters, scouting out his prey, coming down from the rafters with a baseball bat, black and white mask and stuff, black hair. It's Sting. Immortal. One and only immortal Sting and stuff. I just, I mean, this is after when he was Surfer Sting, when he was still over too back then. But this is when he took that Crow character and made that to his own, and how he really just became like ultra good and stuff, man, at being the face and stuff, and hardly even had to say a word. All you hear from him is "woo." It's showtime every time the lights are on bright and he's ready to kick somebody's ass. It could be the whole NWO, it can be anybody else. Him, that baseball bat, man, he is lethal with that, like freaking Hercules with a sword and shit. And I love that about Sting. I mean, he's been doing the business for over 37 years.
Yeah.
And he's always been about not only making himself look good, but also teaching people who he's ever in the ring with and stuff. He helped Booker T in his career a lot, especially when they had that little tandem and stuff in the late WCW. They helped Booker T become a five-time WCW champion. And even with his little run in WWE, it was controversial at least. He still was very giving, and being in a ring with people like Seth Rollins and stuff. Like for him and Darby Allin, that's definitely one of the better things for him to end his illustrious career. Yeah. I mean, Darby was like a sponge. He definitely was a Sting fan. You can see the chemistry of those guys roll right off of each other, and how Darby became kind of like his own little Sting and stuff, man, too, but more of his, own natural charisma and stuff. And I like the run they had every time they were in a tag team matchup, trios matchup, or whatever. Sting is like that old goat and stuff who you just never get enough from, and his credit and his work and stuff in around those years is definitely appreciated. And Tony Khan did a good job for him on sending him out on a high freaking note.
Hell yeah.
No doubt about him.
And your thoughts on Sting?
Stinger. I wasn't always a Sting fan, but looking back at his career, like I saw that Tribune thing in the Players Tribune that he did, and I was like, I heard what Bret Hart said about him. So like, he's another of those integrity guys.
Yeah,
he didn't politic for anything, and I love that. So I'll props to Sting.
He was always out for everybody else though too. He wasn't just for him. Yeah. He was also
Sting's also a good Christian. So
Main Event Mafia too with Kevin Nash, Scott Steiner, and all them. Woo! Yes, Kurt Angle. I love that.
Yeah. That was one of his few times he was heel. And
90% of his career he was face, and that's part of the 10%.
Yeah.
Wolfpack too. When he was orange facing all that too, I'm like, damn, how do you make?
Oh, let me say, I hated the red paint.
I actually liked it.
I
it makes sense because if Wolfpack orange and black, he paid his orange and black. I'm like, why not?
Yep. I would have preferred if he would have had white paint with red stripes instead of just red and black.
Yeah.
He did a lot of things with his face, and that's definitely one of the most famous ones.
What about you, Shane? Your thoughts on Sting?
Oh, that's like, you can't go wrong with that pick, especially like Canada Dry said, 90% of his career probably he was babyface.
Yeah.
And the fact that like after he went from Surfer Sting to Crow Sting, didn't even have to wrestle a match for a year, and he was still one of the most over people, just from the camera zoom ins to him, and then him like looking down or like finally going and beating people up. Like nothing could beat his aura, no matter what era. Joker Sting was fun too. That was fun face paint to see him in for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
he's very versatile stuff, man.
Yeah, if you grew up in any era that Sting wrestled in, and you liked the hero, you loved Sting. I mean, I hate the fact that his WWE run came so late in his career. because he didn't look like he was all in it. You know, he looked like he was just kind of phoning in a lot of the stuff. And when he signed with AEW, the first thought in my mind was, what are they going to do with him? I don't think he's got it in him. And sure enough, he did. And he proved everybody that Stinger still has what it takes. So, Canada Dry, who's your next pick, my friend?
My next pick in the Babyface draft of 2024 is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Here's a guy that was Babyface's whole career, which blows my mind. Your whole career, you're a Babyface.
Yeah,
I don't think there's anyone who's ever done it.
Nope.
There was someone almost close. We'll get to him later.
Like Ricky's the only guy that I know of that went Babyface's whole career.
Yeah.
But this guy, just integrity all the way. If you ever get the chance to watch his A&E biography, that is a good show.
It's
such a good show. That was one of my favorite A&E biographies. So, yeah, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, hell of a wrestler, hell of a face.
I became a fan of Steamboat because of Macho Man. That Macho Man Steamboat match in WrestleMania 3 stole the show. I mean, as great as it was to see Hulk Hogan body slam Andre the Giant in front of 90,000+ people, the synchronicity between Sting and Macho Man, not Sting and Macho Man, Macho Man, was incredible.
Even when he lost the belt to Honky Tonk Man,
yeah,
that was unheard of to see a title change on Superstars.
Yeah,
that's true.
I was shaking with a quarter. I was like, I couldn't believe it.
Okay. What do you think, Showtime, about Steamboat?
You can't go wrong with that pick at all. He was one of the most polarizing people in the late 80s and the early 90s.
Yeah.
And yeah, the fact that he stayed babyface his entire career was amazing. But then he's always had the right people to feud with over the years. Him and Flair, him and Macho Man.
Yep.
And the list goes on and on. But yeah, you can't go wrong with that pick at all.
No.
Original name, Richard Blood. And they said that's a heel name. We need to give you a name like Steamboat.
Yeah.
Steamboat Willie.
Yeah. Hey, Steamboat Willie. What are your thoughts on Steamboat, my man?
Oh yeah, Steamboat is definitely, man, one of the best baby faces of all time. I mean, I definitely did some of my research and stuff on him and how he is and stuff, man, in the ring and stuff, man. Is just, just a little inkling of what he's like, man, behind the scenes. Just like with people like Bret Hart and Sting and stuff. He's a very, stand-up kind of guy and stuff, man, family man, always, man, about, working hard and stuff and making things great and stuff, man, with him and everybody he's in the ring with. Definitely a real good perfectionist and stuff when it comes to making good matches and helping building people and stuff like he had with people like Stone Cold and Brian Pillman and stuff. He helped show them some knowledge of how to get further on in the business and stuff. He was a very giving and enduring, gracious kind of guy. And, you talk about that one moment we had, man, WrestleMania, when he came back, was one of the legends against Chris Jericho. And he showed that he still got it, man. Showed him the work and all that. I'm like, I was just dazzled just how good he was. And just to show you, man, just what kind of competitor he really was. I mean, definitely a true blue man, babyface, who will always be in the test of time in wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, I'm going to go next, and I'm taking, it's a tough one. It really is a tough one, but my grandmother, I watched wrestling as a child because of my friend Jimmy Doherty, but never realized how much my grandmother loved professional wrestling as well when I was a kid and I was watching it. And she used to talk about this beautiful Italiano man. Say, James, you got to love Bruno San Martino. He is absolutely amazing. This man held the World Wrestling Federation heavyweight title for 4+ years. 4+ years of holding this belt against some of the greats that have ever come through wrestling. He beat them hands down. I love Bruno Sammartino. It's a way for me to connect with my grandmother and my nana. I she loved Bruno Sammartino. She was funny. We would watch the old matches that they would show on ESPN with Bruno, and she would be like, "I don't like the guy. Why does he keep going after Bruno? I don't like it." I'm like,
Nana's not going back to jail this time.
I will stab him. I will stab him good. Let's go to Showtime. What are your thoughts on San Martino, my man?
I mean, absolute one of the greatest wrestlers to ever do the game. I got to be honest, I can't say I've seen a lot of his matches.
Yeah.
Seen a few of the documentaries over the years and stuff like that, and seeing the story about him coming from poverty and all that stuff like that. Like, it's an amazing story, and yeah, you can't go wrong with that pick at all.
Hell no. Kush.
Yeah, just like Shane and stuff, he's kind of before my time, so though too. But like I said, I've done my research on him, and I even learned from my folks and stuff though. And my great grandma, she was a fan of pro wrestling, and she definitely liked Bruno and stuff. Like,
yeah,
she'll be in her chair and stuff, man. At night and stuff, man. Just watching on TV and stuff, man, and seeing him who he's gonna take on next, and that does a great deal with me because if me and her were around the same time, we definitely been watching a lot of wrestling with each other. So Bruno definitely holds a dear sweet spot in my heart. Thanks to Grandma.
Canada Dry.
Yeah, Bruno Sammartino, he was Hulk Hogan before Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Like, he was that, they were going with the ethnic guys.
Yeah.
Because he had a lot of Italians in the neighborhood.
Yep.
Supposed to fill up the garden. But the weird thing is when he was on the booth, the 3-man booth with him and Jesse, and Vince, he didn't really say a lot.
No,
he just did the match end.
Yeah,
they didn't really. They said he was the living legend, but they didn't say what he did. They didn't give him the accolades. Like this is the greatest, one of the greatest champions of all time. Like, they didn't really. They just didn't. They didn't give him his proper flowers in those days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably some guys will do it Vince probably, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Let's go with Showtime Shane.
I'm gonna have to go now with one of the longest reigning face runs in the WWE. He started off as a face short time, then came back as a heel for maybe a year or two, but then ever since these days, after being a doctor of thugonomics, John Cena has been one of the biggest money-making faces for WWE history. I can't say I'm not like a big fan of his, but I gotta say game is game. John Cena is game as far as being one of the faces and doing like the most Make-A-Wish Foundation. You can't get much more of a face than doing the most Make-A-Wish Foundation appearances. The stuff he's done for children over the years is bar none more than any other wrestler out there.
Yeah.
And celebrity in general, it's looking like too.
Yeah. There he is.
Oh.
John
I love
Cena.
that you get the PGNs of this.
You can't beat Cena. I mean, this guy is just, he's just a good human being. Like, in a world right now where good guys kind of suck, people are drawn to the villainous people, like the news, it's all about bad. It's not about uplifting stories, but there's one story I'll remember about John Cena, and it was this. There was a kid that was from the Ukraine. He was autistic, non-speaking, nonverbal. And when Russia invaded and his town was essentially destroyed, his mom went to Antwerp in Belgium and told her son, "We're going to go meet John Cena." Word got to John Cena. John Cena dropped what he was doing. He was on a film set at the time, flew and met the kid. And there's pictures everywhere of him and this kid. But that's the kind of guy John Cena is. So if you think for a second, oh, it's just an act, he's not. He's one of the nicest guys out there. And the proof is in the pudding. I mean, Shane said it. It really is about the fact that he's just a good human being. You can't beat that. Canada Dry, your thoughts on Shane's pick?
I don't know if it's about being a good human being. I think he's really good at building a brand.
Yeah.
And if you're going to build a brand, you better be nice to the fans.
Yes.
So I think he's just really good at building the brand and, paying attention, playing, kissing babies and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
John Cena could be a run for president. He's just good at that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, so who he is really, I don't know, but he's definitely one of the top baby faces. And even when he's getting booed, he's like, "You have a right to boo me." Did you know that he's ripping off Barack Obama?
Really?
His voice, he's doing He's like, "I would like to ask Angie on a date." Like, do you ever know the way he halts like that? He's doing Barack Obama.
I like it. We're gonna go with it. Kush, your thoughts on John Cena?
Well, I feel like John Cena is definitely one of the, when it's all said and done and stuff, man, in WWE, he's definitely going to be one of the all-time best. He really believed in those three words, man: hustle, loyalty, and respect.
Yeah.
He really is all about that, and he made the most of it, man. Once he was given a chance, man, thanks to Stephanie McMahon. If she did not hear him rap in that back of that tour, that bus that was
true.
in,
That's true.
he would never be where he was at right now.
Yeah.
So he realized that. He's like, yeah, but I want to step up my game and take this thing, man, to the moon with me and back. And he did just that. And I got sure respect for him, man, and how he did that and how he made himself to a hot commodity, even beyond the ring, and doing commercials, movies, TV shows, and all that shit. Just like the same level.
That Peacemaker show was a good show.
I love Peacemaker, man. I can't wait for the second
dance
season.
at the start of that show. So much.
It's supposed to happen sometime next year, though, too, for sure. I can't wait for this next season. But but like I said, that put him on the map, and he definitely made the most of it. What we know about him, man, on the personal level and stuff, based on what people will say about him, it's controversial and stuff. I mean, he's not perfect, but he's definitely played a babyface role to a T that can even rival the likes of Hulk Hogan. And for that, you definitely got to put him on here, man, and Mount Rushmore of babyfaces.
There you go. Kush, who's your next pick?
And speaking of baby faces and stuff, I want to go a little bit more modern and stuff with mine. I feel like this guy is definitely right now is kind of killing it, playing the ever underdog, the ever sympathetic man, baby face, who people don't feel like he's gonna do it, but yet somehow he does it. Especially lately now with his Intercontinental Championship run. I'm talking about the one and only Sami freaking Zayn.
Hell yeah, Sami Zayn, baby.
Sami Zayn, like I said, he's been mostly the underdog, the babyface man, most of his career. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
From the indie days to like Ring of Honor till and Underground NXT. Even in NXT, it's right there, man. He was so beloved. People were chanting for his name. People want to see him, man, just get that brass ring, just get that NXT championship. And the story he had, man, with him and Adrian Neville at the time was definitely one of the best storylines of all time. He really played that role to like, can I do this? Can I be the man that these people want me to be? And even he had some good acting chops on him, playing the sympathy role to where you feel sorry for him. You want him to win. You want him to succeed. And even before the lights, people like Daniel Bryan and Bryan Danielson and stuff, man, came in the picture. He was the Daniel Bryan and stuff, man, in NXT. And it translated for him going up there to the main roster, including his rivalry with Kevin Owens. One of the best rivalries and stuff, man, right now in modern era with him and KO. Those guys put on a clinic every time they step inside that ring with each other. Doesn't matter if it's a pay-per-view, PLE, NXT, those guys will always personify the phrase fight forever.
Yep.
And even when he was in the bloodline, he wasn't even as a heel. You still cheer for him as a babyface.
Yeah.
It was more about Sammy. It was even about Roman Reigns.
He made that bloodline.
He made them a household name with his antics, with saying Usi, with his handshake stuff with Jimmy Uso, making Jay and them crack. The guy is he's just perfectionist when it comes to getting a good reaction from the crowd. Even now, when he's being the battle-tested Intercontinental champion, being the likes of Gunther.
Yeah.
Being his legendary reign, becoming the Intercontinental champion, when hardly nobody felt he was going to win. And he did that. And since then, he's been the guy that you cheered for, stuff, man, who wanted to see take this guy down, take that guy down, from Chad Gable, even now with Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
He still is the ultimate underdog when it comes to being a champion. And I like what he's doing right now with it. And he stole my vote, man, for being one of the best baby faces.
Canada Dry.
Yeah, I agree with everything he's saying here. I think he's pivotal in the new bloodline.
Yeah.
Or the OG bloodline return.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen someone get such a cheer when he was in Montreal since Rocket Richard.
Yeah.
Ole, 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 ole.
Yeah, like this guy was like, I don't know who like maybe Brett would have got a bigger cheer as that, but
Probably Brett.
but Sami Zayn was on top of the world when he was getting Roman Reigns in Montreal. Like it was nuts. That crowd
It was
was nuts.
pandemonium.
Yeah,
I never seen anything like that in recent.
but Sami Zayn, Vince McMahon made him be a bad guy a lot of times, but Triple H sees him for a good guy as a face, and I like it.
Yep. All I gotta say about Sami Zayn is that man is freaking amazing. I love Sami Zayn with all my heart. You can't go wrong with him. Shane.
Yeah. Even though we can't, like, his heel work was bar none pretty damn good in the last few years. But yeah, ever since WrestleMania, him and Kevin Owens became the unsung heroes. That was an amazing moment. And yeah, even just leading up to that Elimination Chamber match, even him losing to Roman Reigns, he still had one of the biggest pops after that match, which was amazing. But yeah, no, you know what? This face run since WrestleMania, after him, or WrestleMania last year, with him and Kevin Owens taking those tag titles, this has been a pretty fun run with Sami Zayn as a face.
Hell yeah.
He's so good in the ring. He's real good on the mic and stuff, and he can be so damn funny. Like you can't hate this guy. You can't keep him here for
And he's a global superstar. The places he gets those chants are usually outside of North America, in the European countries, or especially Canada.
Canada Dry, who's your next pick?
I'm going a little bit controversial here. When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside. We were talking about this, Shane and I, in the AFW chat. He's had some controversial things that he's done. That doesn't make him a bad person. Like, I think we're more than black and white. Like, we've all done things that we regret. We've all said things that we regret. I'm not a big fan of him, but you can't deny the babyface run of him in the 80s. Like, he made professional wrestling with this babyface run. He was over like Grover. The only problem is they pushed it so much right off the cliff, because you had a whole generation of fans growing up who loved Hulk Hogan that eventually turned into teenagers and hated him.
Yep.
The same ones that loved him turned on him.
Yeah.
Because they're like, wait a second, I have a mind now. I can think for myself.
Yeah.
But you can't deny Hulk Hogan was a big baby face.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't disagree. I mean, when I grew up, I always loved the villain, because the villain has no rules. The villain can do whatever the villain wants to do, as long as it antagonizes the protagonist, the hero. He was the greatest face of all time, and may very well be known as one of the greatest heels of all time with his NWO run. But the fact that you were like, oh, Big Boss Man, he's got a chance, but then Hogan's like, oh, son of a bitch. Like that reaction is pure. That's a pure reaction to how good of a babyface you are. When you can go, that son of a bitch, and you look at Hulk Hogan, that legitimately is what makes him one of the greatest baby faces of all time. Shane, your thoughts?
You know what? I think we had this combo over something else a few days ago with Hogan. Like, if he wasn't there, there might not been a WWF reaching the peaks that it did.
Yeah.
We didn't have like there was nobody in line to take that company and be the global face and do the things with Mr. T and things along that nature. So yeah, like you got to separate the art from the artist with this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Kush, your thoughts on Mr. Hogan?
Well, I can say a lot of things about Hulk Hogan and stuff, man. A lot of mean things, but I'll try to take a high road here and say some good things and stuff about him. Yeah, it is true. Like back in the 80s and stuff, man, for sure. When WWE was, or WWF at the time was just getting up that enchilada and being a new company and stuff. This man knew what he had to do. We had to pick somebody who matched everything he wanted. He wanted a massive freak of nature stuff who has charisma and stuff out of this world. And he fit the bill right there. I got to say, that's high praise for a lot of people, man, like superstar Billy Graham and a lot of people who knew how to talk and stuff on the mic. And for Hulk Hogan's pleasure, so man,
Breaking news.
He was chosen, and he was the one that took it
Hold
up.
on, breaking news.
Yes.
Joe Biden is dropping out of the election.
I had a feeling that was rumored. Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow. Not wrestling, but we got to.
It's already been rumored Hillary's going to take over, according to Alex.
No.
Like this is good news for America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank freaking God. All right.
Anyway,
yeah,
like I said, he definitely took that thing and stuff, man, and definitely made himself larger in life. Like he definitely personified a role. He definitely had everybody, man, the palm of his hand, kids, women, man. They were all Hulkamaniacs and stuff. And the funny thing about it was when he came back to WWE, though, when he was with NWO with Hall and Nash, the fans and stuff, all the grown people and stuff, man, who were kids stuff back then, were really starting to come back for him and chant his name and stuff and want him to be the Hulkster and stuff.
Yep.
And he brought it back and stuff. They even booed against The Rock, who was supposed to be a babyface against him at WrestleMania 18.
Yeah.
That's right.
When they need to strike, and he became the Hulkster again. You know? Gotta say, he's definitely one of the most beloved superstars something all the time for that.
Shane, who's your next pick?
You know what? Let's just get it out of the way. We already talked about him, Hogan. We just said what we said, except I forgot to mention there is a picture when I was 5 years old with me with Hulkamania pajamas at the Christmas tree. So, whether I don't like him now, I can't fail that what influence he kind of had as a child. So
yeah.
We don't need to talk about it. We already talked about him. So there we go. There's number two.
Who's your next pick?
Who's next pick? Me?
No, Shane.
Shane picked.
No, I said Hogan. I said might as well get it out of the way now since we already just talked about him, right?
Hogan gets picked twice.
I think I'm next, so I'm gonna go with this guy made his career in Mid-South Championship, Mid-South Wrestling, and he was the old saying, the bite is worse than the bark from the dog, and I'm talking about Junk Yard Dog, because by golly, Miss Molly.
Doesn't Kush look a little bit like JYD in this picture? We got the same beard.
Maybe the same hairstyle, yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love Junkyard Dog.
We need Kush with some chains. Just come out with it.
You call him Junkyard Kush now.
Junkyard Kush.
I love.
He's got the JYD smile. Look at this.
I know. Like Junkyard Dog was one of the few faces I rooted for. I just liked him, and this was only when I knew him from his WWF run.
Yeah.
When I found out about his Mid-South run and really legitimately how much of a badass he was, just made me love him even more. I love Junkyard Dog. The dance he would do and the dog chain and the whoop whoop whoop. How could you not like Junkyard Dog? How? Can't draw your thoughts on JYD.
Okay, this is interesting because You know, Tony Khan gets a lot of flack for bringing in these guys.
Yeah.
And not using them to their fullest.
Yeah.
But if you look at Vince McMahon in the 80s,
Oh, yeah.
he had all these big stars that are champions from all these other promotions.
Yeah.
And they turn him into mid-card guys. And JYD was one of them. Like, he was a big star everywhere he went.
Yeah.
But in WWE, he was just a mid-card guy, didn't get any title runs. So popular, but the man kept him down. I loved the Junkyard Dog.
Yeah. How you not? Shane, your thoughts on JYD?
Oh man, no, he was a polarizing character for the time, and it's actually was an absolute crying shame that Vince buried him with a bunch of other top guys over. Just like when Ron Simmons came over to the WWF, he was a WCW champion, a first black champion, and then pretty much buried him with a gladiator outfit. But Junkyard Dog wasn't far off from the same treatment when he got to the WWE, and it was a crying shame.
Yeah, absolutely. Kush.
Yeah, Junkyard Dog definitely, man, had the swagger, man. He had the boast and stuff, man, with the most. He definitely was one of those, man, very, like I said, polarizing stuff, man, in how way he's booked, but yet so captivating when it comes just to his charisma and stuff. Like, you can only can contain that. Only people, man, can teach that. And he definitely personified that stuff, man, in his career. And, in spite of, man, he was a world champion and stuff. He definitely, man, put himself on the map and stuff because he definitely had the credentials and stuff, man, of being a top, man, flashy, catch can, man, kind of wrestler.
Yeah.
I think he was King of the Ring in WWE.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was.
Oh,
Yep. He had a
Okay.
Yeah, King Junkyard Dog, man. He was King of the Ring.
Yeah, that's
All
why
right.
his man when he had that frown too, like
Yeah.
Let's go with Kush. Who's your next pick?
Yeah, I was thinking about this guy right here, and I was kind of thinking, well, he definitely, you talk about underdogs and stuff, man. You talk about the ultimate underdog. He may be somewhat controversial now, the way he's kind of been booked, and but he still is in good shape. He's kind of like being like a patriarch and stuff of his own group and stuff. The him and A. Guerrero, man, after we started way back in SW, called the LWO. Rey freaking Mysterio.
Oh, yeah.
619.
Yep.
The man with 1,000 masks and a lot of high raising moves. You want to talk about being the pillar when it comes to a certain style of wrestling? Look no further than him when it comes to lucha style. He definitely put lucha style, man, on the map. So they picked him up from ECW to WCW, where he became a household name in the cruiserweight division. I mean, the lights with A. Guerrero, Dean Malenko, Psychosis, Super Crazy, and all them. He had stellar match after stellar match after stellar match. Billy Kidman and all them. He definitely really was the king of cruiserweights before Neville or Pat could call himself in the WWE. Yep. And it was so good that even Vince McMahon caught eye of that and said, hey, why don't you come along, man, to our brand? And I know Vince McMahon is not big on small guys. And for Rey Mysterio, that was definitely, showing that his work ethic and all his commitment paid off. And he was treated pretty well, though, right from the get-go, too, when he came to SmackDown and immediately came one of the faces of the place. Like with him doing his 619, West Coast Pop, even his entrance and stuff is definitely one of the most magnifying entrances of all time, where he just shoots up in the air with pyro and stuff, saying, hey, I'm dropping right out here like a superhero. And that's the way he was carried as. Much to WWE's chagrin, they booked him real well as being a superhero mass wrestler that we all know and came to love throughout the years. Yeah. And not once has he ever been heel this whole time.
Yep.
And even with the Eddie Guerrero thing, when he passed away and they kind of used him for Rey Mysterio to get over as a Royal Champion, even though there was some kind of poor taste here, Rey Mysterio definitely paid off by being the guy that everybody wants to see World Champion. People think that was going to happen because of his size and all that. Yep. But he showed with his skills, his high flying ability and stuff, you can achieve anything you want.
Yep. Absolutely.
So we're running a little bit late here. So keep your comments brief about Rey Mysterio. I'll go first. Rey Mysterio. This guy 95% of his career in WCW, ECW. He was babyface. So he had that small thing with the Rascals and all that stuff where he was heel, but that's okay. Because top babyface.
Yeah. I mean, Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero, Halloween Havoc. That's all I need to say.
That match, greatest WCW match of all time.
Oh, frick yeah. Absolutely. Shane, yours really quick.
Yeah,
I wore
it's been
for
a
that
long
too.
time face. It never changes the face. He's been, or I mean, at least WWE wise, no, he's been a great pillar to be a face for a long time.
Yeah.
He makes money. He makes merchandise money for faces.
Yeah. Let's go with one more each, and then we'll end the show. Instead of doing 5, we'll do 4.
Okay.
Canada, you go first. Who's your last pick?
Oh, my last pick. I gotta go with Mick Foley. Foley is good. Here's a guy that's just all around lovable.
Yep.
Like ever since he turned face in WWE,
Yep.
he didn't look back. He was face the whole time.
Yeah.
And you look at a guy, ask him his opinion. He's gonna tell it to you. Like I think Mick Foley. I think of a guy with integrity.
Yeah.
So all around good guy.
I mean, you can't go wrong. I mean, you just can't. You can't go wrong with that pick. I mean, Mick Foley, even when he was a heel, he was still lovable. You know, and the fact is that his face runs were amazing because I remember his face run at ECW where he said, "I will never wrestle hardcore ever again," and he didn't. And
Yeah.
it's over. Like, how do you go from an Extreme Championship Wrestling where extreme is in the word, and you decide you're going to just straight out wrestle like a real wrestler? only Mick Foley could do that, and it's a testament to who he is, Mr. Socko. Let's go to Shane.
Yeah, Mr. Socko got over.
Oh, absolutely love Mick Foley. One of the first few people I got to meet at an autograph session as a kid. Absolute was like a sweetheart as far as his character goes. And the things he does that's dressed up as Santa Claus kind of shows how much of he's got an inner face in him all the time. He's a 24/7 face. It's not just the gimmick. Like, so.
Yep. Absolutely. Kush.
Oh yeah, Mick Foley is definitely one of the more respected people in wrestling, especially in hardcore wrestling. The things he would do and stuff, man, and take a toll on his body and stuff, man, is second to none. And for him, when the fans were saying Foley is God, he truly was a god of hardcore because he could take everything, throwing off the cell, diving onto concrete floors, anything you name of it, he'll do it. He didn't care. That's how much he loved, man, the wrestling business and sacrifice his body. Definitely one of the best.
Gave his body and almost his life multiple times. Canada, your thoughts on? Well, you already picked McFoley.
Yeah, it's my pick. I like Mick Foley.
I'm gonna go with my last one, and it's something that's just so stupid sexy, baby. We're talking about the American Dream, Dusty
Oh, look
Rhodes,
at those boobies.
250 pounds of blue-eyed soul. Let's face facts. Even when he tried to be a heel, it didn't work. He only worked when he was a face. This guy loved professional wrestling. He is probably one of the smartest wrestlers of all time. There's a reason why they call it the Dusty Finish. That's all I'm going to say. Shane, your thoughts on Dusty Rhodes?
Oh, there's another pick you can't go wrong as a
That's
face.
there. You didn't need to load up.
There we go, baby.
One of the few people that's like absolutely was polarizing as a face when he would do promos and stuff like that. Like you can't go wrong with that pick as a true face.
Yeah, absolutely. Kush.
Oh yeah, same thing about Dusty Rhodes and stuff, man. He definitely was one of the ultimate baby faces. Like he definitely had that enduring aura about him and stuff that you just find lovable. He's very smart. He's very witty and stuff on the mic. One of the best of all time on there. And he knew his stuff. He was very giving when it came to NXT, growing the superstars we know today, like Bayley and Seth Rollins and all them. Everybody you see him stuff right now is because of his work of helping them getting their character stuff out.
Yep, absolutely. Canada Dry.
This is a man that lived and bled for the fans.
Yep.
Like literally, look at his forehead. like Dusty Rhodes, baby.
Look at those train
Dusty
tracks.
Rhodes. I didn't know a lisp is inherent to the kids. I didn't know that you could catch it. Like, I didn't know that was something that trans. Anyways, Dusty Rhodes, what can you say? He dined with kings and queens and ate in the alley pork and beans.
Yeah. Let's go to Shane. Shane, who's your next pick?
Yeah, I was gonna take Hitman, but I'm not. I want to pick this one because this guy was the face of New Japan for so long. It wasn't until he signed up to a new team, literally playing for a new team. Now he's got a complete new character. But Okada, we're talking about people that draw money as a face. He was New Japan's version of drawing money as a face and being a face for a long time. He was New Japan's John Cena for that era for the longest time. Nothing was more over in Japan than him.
Yeah.
And just what he's doing as a heel right now has been a lot of fun to watch. Like I said, new company, new team, new look. Like it's now a complete new ball game with him right now.
Yeah. There he is right there, the Rainmaker, Okada. Kush, your thoughts on Okada?
Oh yeah, Okada definitely, man, was one of the top people stuff, man, in Japan for a long time and stuff. He's built himself, man, quiet man, from having hard hit, man, strong style, man, classic matches, especially like even from people like Kenny Omega and the Styles and all that. That lets you know how good you are if you can fight anybody globally and stuff, man, and still only be more bigger than he was the last match. And for him finally come over to AEW and stuff and being in Continental Champion and all that, and him showing his flaming chops and stuff is a little extra sprinkle on top, man, to his good work. I like Okada.
Really? Can you draw your thoughts on Okada?
Okada. What can I say? Like that you guys have already said. Like this guy was the Hulk Hogan, the John Cena of New Japan.
Yeah.
Like he was the top babyface. Everyone loved him.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what he does in AEW. And like I'm loving it already.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. Last person to pick is Kush. Kush, who are you taking, brother?
I'm surprised nobody ever said this guy or anything yet, but I'll go ahead, man, and end it off with the guy who's going to be going all in for the AEW World Championship. I'm talking about Bryan Danielson.
Woo!
You want to talk about a babyface. He's been that way and stuff, man, for most of his career. Of course, he was a little heelish and stuff, man, in Ring of Honor and, of course, in WWE. But even though as good as he was as a heel and stuff, man, doing those things, he just speaks more to the fans and stuff, man, as a babyface. He just has
like
that
the yes movement. Oh my goodness.
Oh man,
He's still coming out to the heel side of the entrances, though. That's the funny thing about it.
Yeah, but and the funny thing is, though, I mean, no matter if he's heel or face, he's enduring. He's genuine. Like he definitely see that he lives and breathes, man, for wrestling and stuff, and one of the best of himself or anybody else that he's in the ring with. And that speaks a volume and stuff, man, about being a real babyface, being a real true Trojan and stuff when it comes to the sport. It's just like Bret Hart and them, this is his life. This is what he was born and stuff to do.
Yeah.
And you can't argue with a banger of matches he had in any place he's been in. Ring of Honor, WWE, AEW, it's all the same.
Yeah.
And he definitely built, man, people, man, want to chant his name and stuff, man, and say, this is awesome every matchup he's been in.
Yep.
Especially with his Jets run and stuff, with WrestleMania and all that.
Oh,
definitely one of the best of all time.
Can you draw your thoughts really quick?
I absolutely love this pick. Great pick. And sort of like everyone's picks, it's like different, except we got one Hogan duplicate, which is fine because Hulk Hogan deserves that in his run because he helped save professional wrestling. But as far as Bryan Danielson goes, like the yes movement was so amazing. He single-handedly started this thing and pushed himself to the main event. Like he's self-made man. Like this. What a babyface to get that going.
I met Bryan Danielson when he wrestled for Ring of Honor. I met him again when he was wrestling in WWE. Both times I met him, one of the most humble men I've ever met in my entire life. You could rain adulation upon him, and he brushes it off and says, hey, you know what? It's everybody else is working hard too. And he doesn't like to take that credit. And that tells you the type of man that he is. Absolutely one of the most humble men I've ever met. Shane,
the other thing is, just really quickly, the other thing is he's refusing to put a world title around his waist.
Yeah.
Like how, like he's like the anti-Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Oh, give me that belt, brother. No, no. He's like, I don't want the spot. Like others deserve this. This is better for the company if Swerve Strickland, if like all these other MJF, all these other guys get the spotlight.
He'd rather be the one to help build
so
people.
amazing.
Yeah,
that's what separates him. He'd rather help build people than to build himself.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
Yeah.
That's true mentor. Yeah, honestly, he's a true mentor to the game and what he does with the young guys. Exactly for the reasons you guys say, is the fact he wants to make sure to put the guys over that are on their prime of their careers and not on the tail end of the career like he is, which is more than obvious. Like, yeah, he's doing the full-time retirement. He might still have a few matches in him here or there up until he's 50, but let's face facts. He's 1 foot out the door when it comes to full-time active wrestling. So you can't go wrong with that pick. One of the most polarizing people for the crowds. Even when he's tries to be a heel, he still gets too over. That's why it's still funny to see him walk out the heel side of the entrances to this day in AEW, and it's like
I think he's just doing that.
It's a troll job. It's a troll job at this point, but.
Guys, that's the end of our show. We've gone over our time limit. The internet police are on our tail. We got to hightail it out of here. But you know what? Buy a shirt, prowrestlingtees.com/FNWrestling. All the links below. You can get in touch with us. You can join our league. You can do whatever you want to do. You just don't leave any kind of salacious pictures on our boards. We don't like that. On behalf of Canada Dry, on behalf of Kush, Mr. Cushenberry, Kush Money, Showtime Shane, I am the JFB.
And remember, sometimes in life, you're looking for lemonade, but you end up with lemons.
Yep.
And that's a hard pill to swallow. Like sometimes things aren't working out, and you can wallow in it.
Yep.
Or you can find a way to turn those lemons back into lemonade.
Hell yeah, you can.
Yeah, a little sweetener in there. You make it a little sugar, a little stir it around. So raise your fist with me. Put the devil in a sharpshooter and just keep fighting.
Woo!
This has been an effing worldwide media production. You can find us on all social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and others. Head over to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/FNWrestling. And while you're there, click like and subscribe. Want some swag? Head to our store at prowrestlingtees.com/FNWrestling. You can find all these links and much more at our awesome website, FNWrestling.com. As the JFB always says, you can book it.
Yes.
I'm the greatest.